Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Fitter Philosophy, in which I discuss practical, experience-based Stoic stuff, which generally comes from reading some philosophical books, but more importantly from my observations over the decades. So I'm not just observing over the years, I'm observing over the decades. And I'm weathering well, actually, from the experience. You would never guess that I was 70. But there you go. Now you know. And what's the secret, apart from good quality whiskey? I think of completely avoiding personal relationships at any cost. And just having some good friends that I've got a lot in common with, and reading books, and keeping a certain distance from the white noise of human activity. So let's go a little bit further into that particular aspect of my observation, because part of the human condition is to be in the process, constantly in the process of observing and being part of change. And one of the things that causes people to get stressed, causes people to be easily distracted, is the presence of change in social media, social attitudes, the legacy media white noise, the general white noise of social commentary. And as the saying goes, the quietest people most often have the most to actually say, the most to talk about. And I would tend to agree with that, because you do notice as time goes on that noisy people that are constantly talking, when they're talking, they're not actually listening. And the result of which is that they're heavily influenced by changes which they impose on themselves and want to try and impose on others. And therefore their references for change are not very good quality, because they're coming purely from themselves. And these people can become very self-centred, quite selfish, reclusive, ill-informed, arrogant, and unchangeable over time. They become very entrenched, and you'll find this particularly with elderly people. Whereas those who are more proactive in managing change, and that means in understanding the value of change, the good things that can come with it, for example, like social media, and also the pitfalls that can come with it, like being stuck in front of a screen for 4 hours every night playing video games. Not particularly good for your health or anything in particular, and rather monotonous, to be honest, but also quite addictive. So you learn more about your propensity and vulnerability to addiction. It's not just alcohol and cigarettes and sugar. There's other things we can become addicted to out there. And when we observe the changes in us over time, and the way that we manage and at times keep change at a distance, in other words, become more proactive, we become more like the quieter people who don't say too much but listen a lot, and in listening become far more informed, because to be informed is to start to take control of change, to successfully manage change, to be able to direct change and to master it. And you'll notice this particularly elderly people who they don't dress old. When I say dress old, they don't slavishly just dress according to other people's social expectations. They keep themselves refreshed. In other words, they change themselves up a little bit, almost like a metamorphosis throughout life. It's a tremendous ability to step back from ourselves, see who we really are, and then rework ourselves, change the bits that need to be changed, and don't change the bits that don't need to be changed. And therefore it can help to keep us fresh. We don't get institutionalized by imposed change from out with us, from outside of us, from all around of us. And with that empowerment of knowing what change is, knowing how to tap into the positivity of change, we can actually add a lot of quality into our life. And I'll conclude the video with one really good example, and that's practical health. Old people people getting older who are tuned in properly to change become more aware of the benefits of proactive self-management of one's health. And when we're older, we're consuming less sugar, more sensible, tasty, fresh food. Therefore, we're getting real nutrition, which we may be supplementing with the likes of cod liver oil and multivitamins, very simple, easily accessed, and particularly in the northern latitudes and the southern latitudes of the planet away from the equator, with vitamin D when there's not a lot of sunlight. It may seem not a lot, it may seem very small changes, but these changes all add up, and therefore you can approach older age with much more luck on your side, because you've been managing the change as the changes happen to you. And it's one of the skills in life. I can't advise you in detail because we're all different. We all have different circumstances. We all have different provenance. And for some people, it's not so much what they eat that needs to change, it's the company they keep. Or it's the bad habits, the smoking habits, the drinking habits that they need to, if they can't quit them, at least reduce them. Because as we get older, we do not have the cushion of youth anymore. And for a young person to be aware of this, to have a maturity before their years, it's a huge advantage, because you get simply more time to protect yourself, manage your change, and actually compound the benefits over time to go into older age in far better condition. And there you have it. I'm Ralphie. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, click subscribe, press the like button, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye, gainers.